better term is a type of mediumship. Now, you think about it, how did you know that Claire was walking around the room? What did you sense? What did you feel?
Oh, well, I thought I saw and felt a shadow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I felt it come
like
this
the
way.
presence
felt
of
some
it.
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the energy of it. Yeah.
And in the spiritualist church, they talk about a thing called overshadowing, which is where, for want of a better term, the spirit comes over you. And so depending on how much you allow it to do that, depends on how much you end up going and doing channeling, where the spirit actually talks through you, versus you giving the information that the spirit gives you. So it depends on how close energetically and how much they integrate. If you ever mediumship, they have them in... there's one, I can't think of the exact name, but they actually put people in a box.
Yeah, in the
That's
black.
on Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that.
It's called Life After Death.
No, they put them. They're in a box as a way.
And they're tied up.
And they're tied to the chair, and so they can't move. For want of a better term. And then all these things happen. The spirit can come in. So spirits themselves have the ability to make things move, which is where table tipping comes in. They have things. They can make things appear and all that sort of thing. And if you really want to, you can actually.
Oh, who turned the flash on?
You can. What you can do is they use the thing called ectoplasm, which is like a white substance that can come out and can form things. Now, I'll show you a picture on my phone in a moment of a place in Tasmania, which was a hotel sort of place. It was originally built by a person who was a captain of a ship, and the upstairs area was built from ship timbers.
Oh, okay.
And what was interesting was the person who was taking us around said, I want everyone to go upstairs, but I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. And at that stage, my younger son, who was about 15, went up, and then he came down and said, oh, I don't feel too good. He was seasick. Because of the energy that was in the wood from the ships. And so the energy is in things and moves around things. And is that mine?
Yeah.
And so as a result, when we're talking about mediumship, what we're really talking about is getting in touch with the energy, and usually mediumship is of a person who has passed. In other words, we're not talking about spirit guides in the true sense. We're not talking about any aliens, galactic, or anything like that.
Not talking psychic.
We're not talking psychic. But we are also talking animals. And often I would bring in animals. I brought in cats, dogs, horses. Horses are weird. I don't like horses. And I had this horse. You know how a horse comes up and it sort of nudges you?
Yeah.
And I was standing there one day and I got this sense of a horse come over the back and nudge me. And the idea is when I gave the reading and the person said, yeah, that was the horse that belonged to my dad, and it didn't like my dad much. And it would nudge him and do things like that. So they will actually come through.
Yeah, and you always pointed out that people like, oh, my dad's here, yeah, whatever, oh, the dog's here. Oh, the dog's here.
So there's a documentary on Netflix, and it's like this, I think, really like top-notch medium, and they go to they do like a medium retreat, and they tie her up, and like the ectoplasma comes out and all that kind of stuff.
So if you pass that around, this is...
Is there a point to that story?
That sounds good.
Everyone should watch it.
We're going to go.
I don't know.
And you can see the ectoplasma.
Was it Tyler?
No, because like there's no
ectoplasm you can actually see.
no cameras allowed in like this room.
yeah.
No.
Now, what this is a picture of is that's a doorway that was a window. And I've walked out and then turned around, and I've just taken photos. There's actually 5 photos, but that's the best one. And you can see that there's this white object there. And what actually happened was it walks into the room that we're a bit ahead of us. So the rest of the photos actually shows that it goes smaller and smaller into the room.
Wow.
Then later on I had some, it's not on that phone, where we turned around, we took some, and you can actually see the image of spirits there as well. Now, you can't see it with your eyes, but you can see it with a camera.
Hold on, but you can see ectoplasm with your
But
eyes.
you can see ectoplasm with
You
your
can
eyes.
see it with the camera though, you said, is that right?
You can see, so that was seen with a camera, but I didn't see it with
Yeah.
my eyes.
Did you
Now,
feel it or
ectoplasm-
anything like that?
Sorry?
Yeah, it
Did you
feels,
feel it?
feels
Yeah.
cold.
Feels cold.
But that's the spirit. That's
Now, what I did, so this is mediumship. So with that, we were standing around in a room, and this woman was talking about the room and the history and everything, and I'm sitting there. Actually, I think I also have a photo. So I was standing there, and I've got my hand here, and I was just going like this, and there was a cold patch. And I could just feel it and go through. So I handed the camera to my son. He took the photo, and there's a white orb, big orb, around here in front of me. So what I did,
Yeah.
just normal camera, normal phone camera. In doing that, what I then did was I talked to the spirit who was there. And she said, yeah, I'm a little girl. I don't belong here. I just hang around. I come here because it's entertaining.
Yeah.
wow. It's getting the crap out of some people.
Yeah, but this is going to happen on the ghost tour.
This happens on tour. And one of the things is that people have this assumption that mediumship is all about a dead relative who's coming to see you and give you some information and whatever. But in actual fact, for want of a better term, there are spirits all over the place. And it's the spirits usually of the people who are the easiest one to talk to. When we have done mediumship in Spiritualist Church or in a group we're in, usually the people who come in are related to someone in the room. But occasionally you get someone who just comes in just for the sake of being in there and wanted to say something, and then they leave. And they're not really paid to anything.
David was here.
Yeah. So part of it says is if you're able to feel that sense of a shadow, then you already have the ability to connect in with spirit to be able to do mediumship. But the question is, what's different? What's mediumship versus just feeling the shadow? Now, take Alan as a teacher just for a sec as a way of demonstrating this. When you're up in the front of class, can you communicate without saying anything?
Oh yeah, that's my strength. Although I am a good talker, but yeah.
Communicate with who?
The kids.
The kids.
Oh yeah, 100%.
No,
It's
the
like
live people.
it's like I'm talking to David, but I'm really talking to you.
Yeah. So they know you're communicating with them,
Yes.
right? Now, I want you to think about that from the point of view of how do you know? Because you sense it. Now, you can say you see it, you hear it, and all that. Yes, that's a clairvoyance. So clairvoyance is clear seeing, clairaudience, clear hearing, and all those sort of things. But it's an extension of the so-called senses that you have. So what I want everybody to have a go at in a moment and just doing, because you're weird, is I want you to sense some being, some person or animal that's around you. And then all I'm going to do is go around the room and all I want you to tell me is what it is you're getting. Now, the reason for doing this is because what you begin... I'll go off story just for a second, come back. So I catch the train to work into the city, pretty much up at Ferntree Gully or Belgrave and back out. And I don't worry doing about this too much, but occasionally I get bored. And when I get bored, what I will do is I will observe the people and then I will look slightly sideways to them and tune into who's with them. Now, as we said before, when we go away, Claire's grandmother comes in and plays and looks after Lily. That's what they do. So they come in, my dad used to hang around a lot, and then sometimes he comes in and sometimes he doesn't and stuff like that. So there's always someone there. And before any of you were in here, this place was crowded. Now it's even more crowded. So what I want you to do is to just tune in to see what you get. Now in tuning in, I'm not telling you how to do it. And the reason I'm not telling you how to do it is because we all do it differently. But you've all, except for Corey, wasn't here that day.
Which day?
Were you here when the spirit?
No.
You were
no.
here, so you were here. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, what it is about you just tuning in and just noticing anything you get. And what I'm going to do is then go around the room and ask you, what did you get? And we're going to explore and play with this. Now, part of the reason of doing this is because then we start to expand our awareness, so you can start to, if you want, become aware of all the beings who are in the room. Because right now, are you aware of how many are in the room? Okay? I just got told 97.
I got 80.
Yeah. The question is, where are they? Anywhere. They want to say. It's weird. They are. It's when you get 10 in the back of your car. That's a bit weird too.
You went out to my car and brought
I
more
went out
in.
in the car, opened the door, and brought some more in.
Oh,
They love doorways.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting.
They do. So what I'm going to do is just now again. You don't have to have your eyes open or closed. It's just a matter of sensing yourself and just noticing, do you get a picture? Do you hear something? Do you internally hear something? Do you get a sense or a feeling like happiness, sadness? Do you get a feeling of touching vibration? Or do you just get this knowingness that something happens to be there? Okay, so just tune in, and then I'll ask someone to volunteer, and then we'll start from there and just go around the circle. So I'll just give you a few moments just to tune in and just notice what's there.
Just to anyone?
To anything that's around you, yeah.
Behave, Corey.
Can you see on my face? No, I'm...
Great, that'll do. Now, if you think, this is where, just as a side point, if you ever get a medium that gets up and says, just hold on, I have to tune in, that's not right. They've already got it. It's a lot of rubbish. They've already got it, but they don't trust themselves. So they have to psych themselves up to get into the spot to get it, because the spirit's there already. Okay. So I'm patting my 2 dogs. Mind you, only one of them's mine.
The other one's mine.
Okay, who wants to start? Alan?
Yeah. I knew this was going to happen.
I noticed.
No, I know. It's all good. No, before when you started talking about it, I'd already, yeah.
That's cheating.
I can't control it. No, when I drive, I have these, well, look, I'm just going to talk and you guys can think whatever you want. But I have angels. I have one that sits behind me on my shoulder, and then I have one that sits on my bonnet, and sometimes I have one on my roof.
Yeah.
But I actually feel them land, especially the one on the bonnet, especially when I'm driving like an idiot, and I'm like, okay, and then I can feel it. And the one that sits in the back, when you started talking about it, or it might have been, anyway, either one, but he started here. And like I get it like kind of in the corner of my eye, and then as you were talking, I felt him move forward. So at the moment he's here, but he did start on my shoulder, and I find that left side of my body is where a lot of my angels, guides hang out. Probably more my angels than my guides, because my guides are up here.
So ask him and tell me I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want the very first thing that comes to your mind. Don't filter it in any way.
Yep.
Who is he?
He's an angel.
Okay. What's his name?
This sounds so cliche. Michael.
Correct. Now, I want you to ask him, is he truly an angel?
Yeah, I think yes. Do you want me to go again?
I do. So I want you to... The reason I'm doing this is to show you the distinction between what you make up and what's there. Because when you noticed, just before I asked the question, notice Alan answered.
Yeah. No, I had.
You answered before I asked the question, or as I was asking the question rather than waiting for the question.
Yeah.
So this time, wait till I ask the question, and then you immediately ask Michael and see what he says.
Okay.
Are you human?
Not at the moment, no.
That's correct. Notice the question, are you human? No. Were you human?
Yes.
Right. Now, if you think about mediumship and what we do, a lot of it's the question. People say to me in groups, what they've said in the past was, I sat there and I didn't get anything. Did you feel anything? Oh yeah. Did you talk to it? No, I waited for it to give me an answer. Now, if I just sat here and didn't say anything, would any of you speak up? Probably not. So mediumship is a conversation. So you feel them, but you don't then have the conversation.
No, I don't. Yeah, you're right.
And you could.
and the thing is that I question the message.
Yeah. Which is you have enough knowledge and expertise in your astrology and everything else.
Yeah.
And the knowingness. So there's a reason why you question the message, but you don't have to question the message.
Yeah. I'm waiting for, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but I'm waiting for the voice in my ear, and it's not going to sound.
And you'll never get it.
Yeah. I know.
You've done NLP?
Yes.
What was your rep system for your audio?
Oh, they were all quite even for Ellen.
Yeah.
Ellen was quite annoying.
Right, so notice when everyone's even,
digital, yeah.
when you're even, the dilemma you have is you cannot distinguish one from another.
Yeah.
So you will never hear it because you can't distinguish it from the rest.
Yeah, right. I think visual, though, when it comes to my guides, that's my...
But the other thing that I do want to interrupt with is that there's also allowance for the translation in a sense that I'm talking to a friend who went to a psychic and she's like, she's saying that I'm Superman or like there's some superhero. And I'm like, John, you've just been working out like a superhero. You've been eating like a superhero. You've been saving women like you're a superhero. Like, she's not going to get that specifically, but like superhero. And he's like, well, yeah, I've been wearing my cape. And I'm like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah.
So sometimes that translation, we got 90 and 80 here, like that's bloody close to that.
Yeah. No, I think it's the expectations I put on myself, though.
Correct. But that's the thing is what it comes down to is asking the question and noticing the very first thing that comes because that's...
But the needing for it to be perfect and the needing for it to be right will stop it
being right. It from being right.
Yeah. And that's me. Yeah.
And that's why I've asked you to give us the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
So Corey, what's the first thing that came to mind? What did you get?
I had like a guy, he's still here, he's like orangey hair with like an orangey beard, like 32-ish.
Yeah. Now, can I just ask, what did Corey just do? Yeah. Now, is that... No. What did he do specifically?
Oh, he looked. Yeah.
No, he did look.
First
but you're right. But what did he do? He went beard. Is that a beard?
No.
Mustache.
That's a moustache.
No, but he's got like this.
Like,
Correct.
he did his hair.
But no, I want you to notice how he did in the first case. The reason is because this person you've got has a very light beard, but it's mainly the moustache, more than the beard. The reason why I say that, funny thing is I used to have a beard and a moustache, and when you shave your beard off, people look and say, if you ever shave, you shave your beard off and your moustache off, and people say, didn't you have a moustache? They forget you have a beard.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's a whole concept. And it's what you're observing and stuff. So what else did you get?
Well, first he told me that his name is Adam, but now he's saying Adam or Shane. And I don't know what that means.
That's fine. Does anybody link in with an Adam or a Shane?
I do.
My
But
brother-in-law's a shame.
What were you going to say? You do, but...
But I've never seen him without it. I've maybe moustache, but I've never noticed a beard.
Yeah, okay. So...
Is he like red hair?
Yeah, but it's gone. But in his age, it's gone brownish red.
I'm saying like light orangey hair, light orangey beard, moustache.
Now, the other piece that shows up, this is where people also get themselves in a bit mucked up with mediumship, is they show themselves in a way that you can describe, but that doesn't mean they'll show themselves when they died.
Yeah, they're prime.
It could be anything. It could be any reason they've picked that. So if we ask Claire, would there be any reason why this person would say they're 32?
Yeah.
Might as well ask what. Why would they show themselves as 32?
Because that's the only way they've ever showed themselves is 32, not because of their prime. Like if my grandmother showed herself as a prime, I wouldn't know who she is.
Yeah. So that is the thing that people say, so you know someone, and if you know someone at a certain age and they show themselves a different age, they could look totally different. And you don't know who it is. So well done.
Thank you.
Celeste, what did you get? Is it Celeste?
Yes,
Yes.
it's Celeste. I'm pretty sure my grandma came through because I felt like her asthma. And I was actually looking at pictures of today and I had a feeling she'd come through. And I was like, oh, yeah, she's cool. And she's an interesting connection with me. So, yeah.
So if you think about it, if she's there now, which she is, okay, why would she bring either the asthma through or why would she have come through?
Well, the asthma, because I'm pretty certain she died of either a heart attack or asthma attack. I can't remember exactly, but I know she
So
had
something
that.
down there. Yep.
Yeah, and she died when I was maybe 7, so I was young too. Oh, I feel very heavy. I'm wearing a necklace she also gave me through my dad.
Okay.
But also she was in the spiritual world and she's a strong guide for me to go down that pathway. So she's been popping up a lot. And I was looking at pictures of her and that side of the family today and I was like, oh, she's going to come through.
Yeah, and note, so the catch-22 of that, actually, do people know what catch-22 means?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know why it's called catch-22?
No.
It was supposed to be called catch-45. But the year that the person put out the book, another book was put out with a similar title. And they decided they couldn't do it, so they just picked the number 22.
Oh. That's funny.
So the thing with that whole side is, did she influence you to look at her pictures, or did you looking at her pictures influence her to come through?
Maybe the latter. I don't know.
See, that's the other thing is spirit world's out of time. So if the spirit world's out of time, you focusing and seeing the pictures and thinking, she'll come through, she's already decided that. And so she's influenced it in such a way to make it so that this is what will come to you.
Okay.
Jumping the queue.
Yeah.
They jump the queue.
Yeah.
When we do mediumship, it's often you've got someone standing there, someone standing there, someone standing there, and someone back there rushes through and comes in front and says, "Me, you're going to talk to me." Good.
Brooke.
Brooke.
Yeah.
I knew it was a
Close
burp.
enough. Straight away I got like daisy chains, like an image of daisy chains, and I felt someone behind me. And I could still feel them there. I feel like I need to just turn around and check. I think you guys were talking. I was like, that's why I kind of turned like this, and I was like, I'm gonna look weird just looking behind me.
We do it all the time. So ask them, who are they, or just ask them what do they want to say. What comes to mind?
Peace.
Okay, ask them why do I need to know about peace?
Something about the world needs to know.
Partly. There's a question that you've had for a while, is the sense I'm getting. If there was a question that you would say, you know what, there's a question I asked that I never get answered. What would that question be?
What am I meant to be doing?
Who am I? What is going on with this world?
Yeah. But I want you to notice now, this person is a relative, but not necessarily, I don't get grandmother, grandfather, any of that sort of thing, but I get a relative of some sort. But they know, I'm going to say they know about the environment, but it's a bit weird the way they're actually describing it. But what they're actually saying is they're answering your question around what you're looking for. The answer is actually peace. Now, it's not that it's peace in you.
Yeah.
What you're looking for is peace is the answer. Now, if peace was the answer, how does that answer a question for you? Now, what you're doing is you're trying to work it out.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I'm-
And I'm just going blank. I'm like, that's a really
okay.
big question. I don't even.
Yeah, but this is what sometimes when the spirit world comes through, this is what they do. They will they're not here. If you ever go, there are mediums that drive myself up the wall and Claire also, when they come in and say, and all they want to do is give you a hug. Rubbish. They don't want to give you a hug. Yeah, they'll probably give you a hug and they'll say it's love here and everything. Yeah, but this is what I really want to tell you.
Yeah.
And so that's really a big part. Is what they come in to do is they want to tell you something, and they always want to tell people something. But sometimes they will be cryptic.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it's almost like a riddle, and it's like.
It is. And what they do. Probably train in NLP, so they bring in a level of confusion to then change it, so you have to try to consider what it actually means. Okay, and so that's how it's different. So what we're getting for everybody shows something different. Yes?
Oh, did you hear that?
Mm.
Anyway. What you just went funny. The big thing for
Yeah,
3
I
weeks.
hate it when they give you a download and you've
Oh,
Yeah, since we did
3
baking
weeks.
that night with you, my ears have been like, I had pain in my ears one
Yeah.
day, they've been ringing, one drops
Was
out,
that
one
not
rings.
the last one but the one before? Because I had an earache like literally from there for about 2 weeks. It was killing me.
Wow.
You're welcome to message me if that
Thanks.
happens.
yeah, you're getting an upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been got.
I
It's
felt like
all
I
like
woke up
this
balloon
way.
and like I was
Yeah.
literally there. I was like,
Throat shot.
Yeah, my ears, yeah.
We can again.
So just going round and just looking at how it's all different and whatever. So Matt, what did you get?
I got originally, as soon as you said it, a little pup or dog, and then next to it a cat, and they're sort of like fighting for my attention, and I sort of just was drawn to the cat more, and the cat just sort of, yeah, like a sort of brown, like a tigery, it's sort of like a domestic cat, but like really fluffy, brown and black, yeah, tigery type cat, you know what I mean? And over time, like, it was just sort of, you know.
So does that ring any bells with you?
Possibly, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Like, the only thing that came to mind was one of the old cats at my old house, one of the old tabby cats.
Okay.
But it didn't look the same though, so...
Now, the funny thing is that there's an assumption that I got told once, which isn't always true, but is often true, is if animals come through, you then say to them, who brought you through? So ask them, who brought them through? What comes to mind?
David.
Hey?
David.
David?
Yeah.
Okay, and who's David?
I don't know. The other name I got was Jeanette.
Cool. Did anyone place a Jeanette?
Ask them, did they live in that house you mentioned?
In the house I mentioned. Just getting yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask them, were these people in that house previous to you?
Oh gosh, I was thinking another question as you were saying it.
What was the question you were thinking?
Were they living there in the house when I was there?
Yeah, no.
So, okay, let's start this again.
So just ask them, were the people living in the house before you?
I'm getting like no yes. I do it to myself.
Yeah,
Like
I want you
it
to
happens all the
notice.
time.
So I want you to notice the no yes for a sec. Have you ever had the situation where you ask a question and it's only half true? Because it is half true. Because I want you to think about it. When I ask the question, what's the question I ask?
That explains a lot.
Oh, you put on the aircon. So if everyone focuses for what was the question that I asked Matt to ask them?
The house.
Yeah. Now, if you think about the question, and I deliberately asked the question a certain way. If you think about when I asked the question, if you think about the answer to that question, when were those people? Assumably, they were in the house before Matt. When? When were they in the house before Matt?
Years before? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
So 20 years?
Yeah. See, a lot of people would think, oh, they were in the house just before me, but that's not what I'm asking.
1920s.
It could have been any time. Correct. Yeah, this goes back a long way. This goes back
Wow, I got 100.
way back.
That would be
Yeah.
about
That's 100
Yeah.
years ago.
That's like
I doubted myself.
I
I was like 100.
I got 1926.
Big blood
yeah.
cuts back then.
It's 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting again with this one, if you think about it, why would they come through and whatever? because we're playing with mediumship. So they'll come through and give you something to try and help you develop where you're going.
Oh.
So
Have you been opening up to animal mediumship, animal readings?
Oh my God.
Or are you just
Don't
opening to
think-
everything?
Generally, mediumship, I never intentionally do it. I mean, in a situation like this. So.
Yeah.
So notice what it comes down to is start asking questions that you have to just trust the answer. And what happens is, and then ask them to prove it, and they will.
Okay.
You'll find they will give you something, a way of proving what they're giving you.
Give us an example of a question to get a cat to prove that they've been around that.
In this particular case, it's actually not so much the cat. It's actually the David and was it Jenny? Jeanette. So what's going to happen is that what can happen is somewhere along the line within the next couple of weeks, something's going to show up where you're going to find a David and a Jeanette name appears.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and it's like it's history.
Yeah, interesting.
So that's what they'll do. They'll bring something in like that.
Yeah.
The idea is that it's it's like that concept where you just have to be open to it appearing, but don't go looking for it.
Yeah.
Because if you go looking for it, you interfere.
Because they've already set this up.
Because they've already set it up, and if you interfere, they'll have to go and redo it again.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome if we get to the retreat and Christine says, "Oh, I've had a tabby cat," and you're like,
David, do the messages always come in for people in a roundabout way, or can they be quite...
No, they can be very direct.
Oh, they can be very direct.
Because, like, with that girl that died in the car accident, and I had the message with the console or the glove box, and I told my friend who was friends with this young girl, because I just kept, putting my elbow down on a glove box console, and then 2 days later it came out that her phone was in the console. But for me, the thought of going, oh, there's a yellow canary there, what is that symbol for me? That just I don't care, I don't want to do mediumship. I don't want to have to worry about the clues and what this symbol means. I just want the messages direct.
So, what you're saying is the way the mediumship will work in majority of cases is they'll link in with the pattern that you actually use.
Right.
However, why in this group it might be different than if you were just doing it somewhere else is we're playing with the energy and just getting you to focus and start to get something and see what you get.
Yeah.
So why would Matt get something that seems to be a little bit obscure, a bit hard to prove, and seems to be not really a specific answer?
Do they want him to work for it?
So
Does guides play
that to me all
games?
the
Are they?
because what they do, they've been doing this with Matt for ages. But he has, I don't mean to put you down, and that's not what I mean, but what they do is they will play with you until you get it. And if you don't get it, they will keep doing it.
Yeah, well, like the no yes, I've been getting that heaps, like the last, I don't know how many months.
Yeah.
And I've just, I don't know, it hasn't resolved to anything until sort of right now. Which is good. Okay.
So that's why the no yes says that the question the interpretation of the question you're asking isn't quite correct. Ask a different question.
Yeah.
And you'll find it'll go from a no yes to a yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sophie.
I got nothing.
Oh, bullshit.
Okay, so before you got nothing, what did you get?
I feel just like a really crowded room.
Yeah,
filled with
it
a
is.
lot of people talking all at once.
How is that nothing?
Yes, it's everything. Everyone at once.
So do you ever find you're in a crowd and you find it very hard to focus on someone speaking when there's a big crowd?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I find it incredibly overwhelming.
So we already said there's a lot here for you to be able. So if you think if there's a big crowd around, how can you focus on something or focus on a person? What do you have to do?
I guess it depends. Like if for example, if I'm talking to you, I'll just hone my energy in.
Yep.
and direct it to you.
Right. So all I want you to do is to hone your energy. Look forward for a second. Just hone your energy into the person who's here, straight in front of you. Yeah. What did you get?
A tall man.
Yeah. Okay. What else did you get?
He's wearing black.
Of course. Yeah.
I feel like he's the same man that was in the corner a couple of weeks ago. Who told me that he was in the corner. He was like, I'm in the corner.
Ask him. Was he the man in the corner?
Yes.
Okay. Ask him what was he doing in the corner.
Lurking.
Yeah. Now ask him, is he here for any purpose?
He shrugged.
Is he here for anybody specifically?
Pointed at Alan.
Is he here just for the fun of it?
Yes.
I got that. I was getting that though. You said, is he here for a purpose? I'm thinking, no, he's not. He's wasting time.
So notice where we've been able to go through and tune in Sophie's case, because for you to connect, you have to really focus. Whereas if you just open like I do, you're just going to get flooded with just overwhelm. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that's the way you can do. That's how you would do mediumship differently.
But you'd have to be commanding.
Yes.
Okay.
This is where I want you to be.
Okay.
And if you don't stand here, I'm not reading you.
Okay.
Good.
Alright.
Yep.
Yeah,
you
I like
do.
that.
You do.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Ness is hiding. Ness is the reason why you've seen me do all the tantrums over the retreat.
I know.
Tantrums. I haven't seen you do one tantrum. David has one.
Claire's good at tantrums. So, Ness, what did you get?
I got a older, I think, Greek woman over there. It seemed like she was like trying to communicate some sort of message, like she was nagging someone.
Love it.
That's all I got.
That's good.
Like she's really just like.
Yeah.
nagging
Now
someone.
I want you to think, and you can say it's a cliche, and at one level it is, but it's actually real. If you have a Greek mother who's in a family, how do they communicate? Okay.
How?
Now, if you think about that for a sec, if you were in that family with that woman, how would you get her to communicate what she wants? That's true. That's one way. Yeah.
How would
Cook
you
her
get her to
feelings.
communicate how
What she wants. So if you said to her, "What do you want?" What would she do?
be in direction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
look
So
around
the
it.
problem, so the idea is that in the spirit world, they're different in the spirit world than they are on Earth. But at the same time, when they often come through, they are portraying what they were like on Earth, and that's what they do. So can anyone equate to a Greek woman?
No, I'm Italian.
Same.
My grandma.
Nah, this one's
Don't say
definitely
that,
Greek.
you'll offend them.
This one's definitely
Yeah.
Greek.
I said that to people, please. Like, no, she's definitely Greek.
Yeah, this one is, yes. The way she was coming across and the way she's doing it.
Yeah. Oh, my next door neighbour was a Greek lady, and and she passed away.
Right.
Yeah.
So how would you have communicated to her?
In English. She would have, but she because her English was broken.
Yeah.
She had an accent. She used her hands a bit, but not a lot.
But how would you, if you asked her a question, how would you ask her a question?
Like right now, or when
no,
I
back then
back
when
then.
you are. How would you answer? How would you ask her a question?
I'd just say, "How are you, Virginia?" You know,
Okay.
like yeah.
So Ness, ask her, how are you? And what's the first thing that comes to mind?
I'm okay.
Yep. Okay.
It's like the nagging stopped, and she like, I'm okay.
Oh, there you go. That's
Thank you.
validation, isn't it?
So now the next one is what? See, this is where having a conversation is no different to having a conversation here. So what would you ask next?
What do you want?
You can, but so if you think about it, if you ask someone, if I said to Corey, okay, how are you?
What do you want?
I'm okay.
What do you want?
Another minty bowl.
So that's why people get confused with mediumship, thinking it's something really special, and it's not. It's a conversation you're having with the woman next door. And if you go and try to you ask them questions that are just not what you'd ask the person next door, they're not going to answer you. Because they don't know how to answer you. Ask her, does she like cooking?
Oh yeah.
What was her favourite meal to make?
I'm just seeing a whole table of food.
Now, from what you know, Alan, how would that fit?
At Easter time, she used to bring over like Greek biscuits,
Yep.
and they were really good. But the best times was when they threw parties, because they'd have a spit out on and like seriously, they'd have everyone there, and we were kids. We'd just run over and hang out with
they
them.
just had so much meat.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I got the picture of, all the meat.
yeah. But when it comes to food, they are my two memories: the spit in the yard,
Yep.
and the biscuits at Easter with the red eggs.
Oh, red eggs.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were tomatoes.
Yeah, and it's really weird because she I got along as a young girl. I got along really well with her, and I think about it, and it doesn't make any sense because she would have been 70 and I or 60 and I would have been 8 or 10. But I used to go over there and just talk to her, I'll talk to anyone, but I used to have these really like random conversations, but I could barely understand her, but we just got along. And I had my own grandma in the town, but I don't know, it was weird.
So cute.
So notice the two things you're saying, Alan, linking in with what Ness you said, which I was going with, was this woman would communicate more than just with the words.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how she could communicate.
And she could show you too, Ness. Did you hear yourself?
Did I hear myself?
Yeah, because you said like I saw a table of food.
It's all in images.
Yeah.
So in your case, images is the main way things will come. So if you tried to do what Alan wants to do and have the sound,
Not
Yeah.
so much.
not going to happen.
And it's funny because I can hear it. Like, she had 2 boys and she used to scream at them. We could hear them from our house. And we used to scream too, so it's fine. But I can hear her screaming, and I don't know if it's a memory or if it's a... Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so what happens is when you get mediums in a room, and a lot of people are mediums to some level anyway, what happens is you tune into the energy, you link in. So, because as you realise, as you're talking, I've already linked in, Claire linked in, now you've linked in because you know it. Oh, you linked in too, did you?
Somebody linked in on this side. I felt it.
It was me.
Oh, that was
It was me.
So that's one of the things that happens is when you're doing this work, you can
Not
actually
straight away,
tune in. No, you tune in and you can eventually find
Yeah.
that person, and especially if they've got a strong energy, and she definitely has a strong energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the same with Sophie's guy. Like, as you were asking her, I couldn't believe she said he was tall because I was picturing it and I'm like, far out. It baffles me. Like, anyway. Yeah.
So, does that conclude that piece, or is there another piece after that?
We can include it there, or we can do something else if you want.
Well, there's 2 or 3 people in the room that you'll do a double reading with.
Really?
Yeah, show mediumship how it's done.
Okay.
So, I don't know how to choose, but it's either Ness, Matt, or Celeste.
I have to go to my car for literally 1 minute. I'm really sorry.
You have to what?
Go to my car for 1 minute, and then I'll come back. I've just left my phone.
Are you doing an Ash?
I'm going to sit back and watch the show.
I don't have my phone's on Google Maps, like on my windscreen.
Yeah, go
like
get it.
flashing.
That's fine. I felt like I need to connect him with Celeste anyway.
Okay.
Can I ask a question just before you start, David and Claire?
Only if you take your hands away from your mouth.
Yeah.
Teacher.
So I caught up with a friend last weekend, and I've spoken to Claire about this friend. She knows of this friend, and she is in a relationship with someone that I don't particularly like, which I don't think she'll end up being with. But since having that conversation with you via text message, I can see her future husband.
Yep.
And I know that that's a psychic vision,
That's correct.
but he won't go away.
Who won't go away?
The vision.
The vision.
Yeah.
Is that just because, or is there any connection between that and mediumship, or is that psychic?
No, that's psychic.
Is it yours or his? Or hers?
Pardon?
Is it yours or hers?
Ellen wants it to be there.
Yes, it's my. I think it's my friend's new husband, future husband.
Oh.
What are you
You
doing?
see, it's also it's now a memory.
Mm.
So this is where it gets a little bit tricky because it's now connected in many ways. So you've had it, you've experienced it. It's now memory. So you can recall it anytime you want to.
Yeah.
And it can be there.
And I do. Yeah.
And if you want it to occur, you're going to keep bringing it forward because that's how we manifest.
Yes, but it's not. But it's hers. It's not mine.
You want it there.
You can't
I want it for her.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yes.
But how can I
You had enough
manifest
of
that
him.
for her?
I don't think you're
Yeah.
allowed to do that,
So
Oh, this is really good. You just had a look on your face.
there's an assumption you've got.
Yes.
Okay. What did you just say? How can I?
No, I
No. What did you just say? Repeat the word you said. What did you say? How can I?
How can I manifest it for her when it's not mine?
Bring it into your
But-
life.
You're not She's not manifesting it. You are.
Yeah.
Because you're manifesting it for you.
But
Yes.
Yeah.
You want it some
That's
peace.
what I said.
For the best of it.
That's why I said, is it hers or yours?
See, if you think about it, what you've said
Yeah.
was, if she had that person, what
Yeah.
does it mean for you?
You get your friend back.
yes.
So that's
It's
what
all
you're
you.
after.
Yeah, but
So
is it
you're-
bullshit? Is it a
No,
lot?
it's not bullshit.
Okay.
No, it's not. The spirit world. The spirit world is like.
Box of chocolates. You started
I
this.
did not. I just had a question.
The spirit world in itself is like a person who has contacts all over the place. And you ask them and they say, do you know how to do something? They say, no, I don't know how to do it, but it'll get done. And then they go through their network. And the network on them are really quick. If you ever, sometimes, and I've been in a situation where you're doing mediumship and you say to someone, you ask them a question and they say, just hold on. And then they give you the answer. Well, what's happened is they've now just gone out of time, asked all the beings and everybody else and every network they can get to find the answer, and it's all gone all through, and now it's come back,
Yeah.
which would have taken us 100 years in Earth time,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
happened in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
So what's going on is that you know what you want, and you're put it out there, and so they are manipulating, for want of a better term, the things that will happen to make it happen in a certain way.
Yeah.
While you can focus on that, you actually can influence the whole side for her and him to meet.
Oh, jeez. This is
However,
really good.
but you have no say on whether she and he accept each other.
But what about when you just know
Yeah.
that?
Do you know that people who should be together are not?
There's freedom.
I love
Do
you
I
too.
know?
I was waiting for this.
That was good.
On the last night.
Shh, don't tell your wife. Do I know people that are together that are not?
No, who are not, who should be together but are not together.
Because we can all link into Corey's Amsterdam man.
I can see him. He's back.
I'm not even going to Amsterdam.
So the point I'm getting at is you can influence them meeting. What you can't influence is their choices.
But what about that innate feeling in here
Yeah, of?
that they are? Is that my?
Yeah, hold on, but if you think... So this is where it gets really funny in the way I perceive it. Describe the image you got.
He's Australian. He's fair. He's got blonde curly hair. He's
Yeah, okay.
stocky.
Yeah,
he's-
go into them. What do you see with her? Him and her. How do you see that?
Oh, I see. So she's very empathic.
Yeah.
And I feel, and her partner at the moment is not.
Yeah.
He's I think is a bit narcissistic. But this guy that I envision, I just feel this strong healing energy, very healing for her.
Yeah.
But also on a compatible level as well. Like you know, like when you meet, like you two, you're both healers and empathic. Do you know? It just
Tastes like what else?
Yeah.
no, they're
So
but you know what I mean?
I want you to notice what. I want you to notice what Alan's doing. She's describing a moment in time.
Yeah.
What you're creating is a moment in time. You are not creating something that could last for 10 years. You're creating a moment in time.
Yeah.
And that's what you're holding on to, which is fine.
Yeah.
But notice that they might meet, things shift, and then they separate and go their own way.
Yep.
But because they've still satisfied what you're creating.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy with that anyway. Just as long as the other guy. You know what I'm talking about, Claire.
This is all about you.
It is. I don't like him. Anyway, keep going.
But that's the thing with this is, because the spirit world's out of time, there is a level when you ask the spirit world information that they will put it and give it to you when it's out of time. So they're not really good at giving you time. If you say, oh, how long is it going to take? They'll give you the number 3. You say, is that days, minutes, hours, weeks, years? What is it?
Yeah, 3rd month.
3.
Yeah.
That's all you're getting.
So it's weird like that.
Okay, but when you're doing psychic readings, there are ways of, like, and I know you do this, of figuring out that end point.
Yeah, but you're, in a nutshell, what you're telling everybody here is that you used to have a friend, you want your friend back, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
He's getting close to not being in the picture anymore, and you're all like, well, when is it? And so if she comes to you and says, oh, you know, Nick, blah, 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 and you're like, well, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. Which is what I'd probably say. Because I'm naughty. All right.
So can I please ask for Sophie and Celeste to swap spots so you two can do a double reading? Oh, cleansing breath there, David.
Put on the spot. That's all reading.
Oh, yes. Get a better view.
Are you warmer there? Is that better? Yeah?
I'll get hot fast.
What we're going to do is I'm going to tune in with you to someone that's here. Then I'm going to get you actually to start, and then I will link in with you, and we'll just see what comes out of it.
So you give about 2 or 3 pieces of information and then hand it to David. He'll give 2 or 3 pieces of information, and then you continue with the same spirit.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, okay.
So the easiest way to do it is usually...
No, Celeste knows what she's doing.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, she does.
Oh, okay, in that case I don't have to. Claire's told me. Claire's told you.
Alright, so just picking whoever pops in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go with the first lady with a cat.
Told you she knows what she's doing.
Good.
And she feels old. I don't know if she's connected to anyone, or she's just here. I'm getting roses.
You're getting roses? Okay. So does anybody link in with a woman with a white cat? Well, you didn't say white cat, but I'm getting a white cat.
Black.
Well, you got a black one, have you?
Yeah. Bit of a like an older, rounder lady.
Yeah, I got her. So woman, older.
She's over here.
Yeah, I like the way that you described it when I deal with age. Okay. Anyway, and roses, which could be a name, could be a flower, could be a colour, could be a scent.
Or it could be like to do with the gardening even.
Yeah. Does that link with anybody that people can think of?
Yes, but I don't want to be the black hole.
Yeah, I know. I knew it was you.
This is all about me.
It's always about you.
That's all right. Well, you said it was about me before, so we could share.
So the woman makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Roses.
Anything here, Ness?
Nothing is coming to me.
Okay.
Roses make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, black cat makes sense to me, but not the lady.
Does she have dark hair, the lady? Like short, curly, dark hair?
Yep.
Is Rosa her name? No?
My other grandmother's middle name.
Okay. Just, never mind.
That's fine. So when you just got that, notice.
Rosa.
Can you place Rosalie?
I don't think so.
No, that's okay.
No, keep going. No, just say whatever you get.
That's fine. Keep going because I want you now to notice just for a sec. Okay, as you notice Rose and you notice Rosaline, I want you to notice that one's here and one's just over there.
Yeah.
Okay, because we've got two of them.
I feel one of these have followed me for a while because I've done this before and I had the same lady come through like almost a year ago.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
know where she came from.
Yeah. Yeah, but you've actually got two people with you at the moment, which is why you're getting the connection because of and the confusion, because it actually does that. The other lady doesn't show herself quite as older or as elderly as the first one.
I know a Rose. She's probably 60, but she's got severe Alzheimer's.
Okay, so just check. Sometimes it's good to check in. Just check in with what you're getting and just ask them, are they actually deceased?
Yes.
Yeah. So I can sense who you've got, but they're different to this person. Yep. I do get the sense of this one. They got problems with their hands. It's
Arthritis.
yeah, it's sort of like arthritis. Their hands. I see the hands are bent a bit. So I'm assuming that's arthritis, but I'm not sure. Does that fit?
Yeah.
Rheumatoid arthritis or something.
Yeah. And what sort of personality do you get of this person?
Like she's how to explain her essence? Like she's very comfortable to be here and comfortable to be around you, but she's not the most loudest person in the room. Like she's a little reserved in her personality, but like she wants to speak out and be.
Yeah.
When you know her, she'll speak up.
Correct.
She's very sweet and kind.
Yeah. So the sense I was getting as a way
Hard worker.
why she's hard to explain her personality is because depending on her situation, depending on what it was like. Because I get some cases when you really knew her and she was in her environment.
Yeah.
She wasn't that.
She was out of her bubble.
Yeah.
But she's a little held back.
Yeah.
Out of her comfort zone.
Yeah. Out of her comfort zone. No, she would be very reserved. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
She dresses old lady like. If that makes sense.
I won't say the comic Claire said to me tonight. Don't be an old man.
I mean, like, I don't know. To me, it looks like it's not modern clothing. Almost like she would make her own clothing, or
Yeah,
she
she
was
did.
good at doing her own clothing.
Sorry, I should be giving you more feedback. Yes,
Yeah.
yep.
So yes,
Like,
you're
does she
right.
wear an apron-y thing a lot?
I've been seeing blue apron pop up in my head.
Yeah, blue was her colour, yeah.
And by the way, she's always around.
Does
She's
she have big boobs?
Yep.
yeah,
Sorry, like,
she's always around.
Get the grandchildren to put the powder under the boob after a shower.
little punch.
Is that your job, Claire?
So if there was a message that she had for Claire, what message would she have?
Okay, messages. That's hard for me.
Why are they hard?
I don't know, I've always found the essence the easiest, and then the message.
So rather than trying to get the message, because it sounds like you swap how you perceive things when you go to the message. So don't swap it. So just as you've been perceiving things, we ask her the question, what message does she have? Can she give it to you in the way that you've been getting everything else?
But then if she keeps giving you evidence, just give the evidence and then the message will come in.
Yeah, the evidence, the message will be in the evidence.
Yeah, so Claire, can you place the anxiety? Is what you should ask with that one.
Yeah. So if you get something, say to Claire.
So Claire, can you place the anxiety?
Yes.
Yes.
She was anxious like mothering.
I'm anxious about my mother, yes.
You're anxious about your mother, okay.
And she's also putting her hands out at the moment.
Yeah.
She's offering you and saying, I'm here and comforting you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, no, she can't take it away.
No, I'm here to support you and guide you.
Yeah.
Like, I will have your back or push you along. That's how I'm going to get here.
Yeah, good. So say thank you for her being here.
Thank you.
And tell her to step back.
Bye.
Thank you,
job.
Celeste. Yeah, that was definitely Nana. Thank you for that. So yeah, very much into her cats and her blues and her cooking and her boobs and and her roses. Yeah, and then my daughter's middle name is Rose because of Nana. So yeah,
Oh, cute.
yeah. Thank you, and yeah. So
And so notice, don't try. The reason if something doesn't work, then you're not trying. What you're trying to do is something different than what you normally do. Yeah. So
yeah, I
in
guess
your,
I expect like a direct message. I think when I'm expecting a message, but yeah, you're right. If it's coming in evidence, I can.
so in your
explain
case,
that.
you deliberately ask for the message, and then the evidence that comes in will be the message evidence.
Because like you, I expect to just hear like.
it's in the console.
Well, now that I've received messages like that, I expect them like that.
Yeah. Anyone got any questions for Celeste or David? Since Celeste is in charge. Anyone got any questions, or we'll pivot and we'll play a table to them.
So, white cat, black cat.
Yeah, Nana had lots of Nana had lots of
okay.
cats.
Alright, cool.
So first Celeste had Sooty, and then she had Misty, and then there was a few, and then Winky came in. It's great cat names.
So
Yeah,
you knew that though. You saw all of that.
Yeah, I saw them around her feet anyway. So when David was like black, white, or white, black, and I was just like,
making your energy.
yeah.
That's
Did you know it was your grandmother before she actually started talking about names and descriptions?
Oh, Nana's always in on this stuff, so
Yeah,
I was expecting her
yes.
to like. I was trying to move out of the energy field.
When I used to do mediumship at times, my dad, if there was something that needed to be described or whatever, my dad would come in and act as the person to be there.
Yep.
Yeah, Nana always comes in with Celeste isn't new at this, but new teaching. She always seems to push further the cue. Yeah, loud, but loud, subtle, but obvious, but
strong.
yeah, yep. So thank you.
Cool.
Yeah. So my mum's got 6 to 12 months left to live. So the anxiety, and if Nana's there, and then it's like, well, we can't push, and we're like, you can take her, like, let her go.
The heartbreak of it.
Yeah. So it all made sense. So, and my mum's getting rid of her cats at the moment, which is really heartbreaking. Like when your mum's talking about the evidence that she actually is going.
Yeah, that's really hard.
Yeah. So goodbye Houston and a few others. So yeah.
Well done.
So table tipping. Are we playing your crazy ass music or?
Now I'm nervous. Maybe we'll play with you.
Crazy ass music. So one of the things that I do